Welcome to my channel. Here, it's all about reading the most wonderful fairy tales to you in a modern presentation. To make sure you don't miss anything, go ahead and subscribe to the channel and click on the notification bell. This way, you'll always be informed about new videos. Look forward to many exciting reading sessions. The Hare and the Hedgehog, a Modern Adaptation. Once upon a time, there was a hare named Max who always boasted about how fast he could run. He leapt from one meadow to the next, telling everyone who would listen how unbeatable he was in a race. But nearby lived a clever little hedgehog named Emil, who had had enough of Max's bragging. "I may be small," Emil said to himself, "but I have an idea." He knocked on Max's door and challenged him to a race. Max laughed and agreed, confident that he could easily beat the little hedgehog. The race was scheduled for the next day at the big oak tree in the forest. On race day, a large crowd gathered to watch. Max continued to boast, while Emil remained calm and planned his strategy. When the starting gun went off, Max sprinted ahead, his long legs as fast as lightning. But Emil rolled off leisurely, as if just taking a stroll. Max laughed and shouted, "See how fast I am?" But Emil only replied, "You may be fast, but I am clever." When Max reached the halfway point, he thought he had already won the race. But suddenly, he heard a faint tapping behind him. He turned around and saw Emil, rolling along steadily. How can this be? Max wondered, confused. But Emil kept rolling, while Max struggled more and more. Finally, they reached the finish line. The crowd cheered as Emil crossed it first. Max was speechless. "But how did you do it?" he asked Emil. "Quite simply," Emil replied with a smile, "I went to sleep earlier and woke up in time to see you at the finish line." Max was impressed by Emil's cunning and had to admit that sometimes, cleverness is more important than speed. The race between the hare Max and the hedgehog Emil spread like wildfire throughout the forest. Animals of all kinds came to hear about this unusual event. When they learned of Emil's cunning, they began to think about the importance of intelligence and humility. "Perhaps we should all be a little more like Emil," suggested the owl, "and use our strengths wisely." "Yes," agreed the fox, "because sometimes, it's better to be clever than just fast." And so, the animals of the forest learned an important lesson from Max and Emil, that it's not always about who runs the fastest, but that intelligence and humility often bring victory. After the race between Max and Emil, the mood in the forest changed. The animals began to respect each other more and focus on their unique abilities. Boasting and competition were replaced by cooperation and solidarity. The hare Max and the hedgehog Emil became symbols of this change in the forest. They became friends and allies, facing life's challenges together. And so, their spirit of cleverness and humility spread throughout the forest, ushering in a new era of peace and harmony. As time passed, the story of Max and Emil faded away, but their legacy lived on. The animals of the forest always remembered that it's not about being the fastest or the strongest, but about acting with intelligence and humility. And so, the tale of the hare and the hedgehog did not end with a simple race, but with a timeless lesson that inspired and shaped generations of animals in the forest. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel and activate the notification bell so you won't miss any new fairy tales.